140 characters. So, the guys on the team really care about uh, the names, the assets, the product that we're putting out, and just taking the time to do things like that is
Yeah. Well, if we think about it, it's 140 characters, but every eyeball that sees it multiplies it. So
right.
it's the more people who are going to see a tweet like that, especially when we're early and everybody's like, "What is this?"
What is this? Mm-hmm.
It's we got to be deliberate about what we want to say.
Right. Next question we have. This one is from the Russian community. This is over on VK. Again, global game. Do you have a roadmap for Paragon's game design? And what do you consider Paragon to be more of, a MOBA or a third-person shooter?
Right. So we are absolutely a MOBA. We have said from the beginning that we are making a MOBA experience, and it's not a hybrid.
When
it is going to be
switch to
all the things that make MOBAs great. It is
muffled,
the
so it like
fantastic team fights, the progression that happens
graphic.
during a match, the strategy that happens when you come into team comps and draft mode. All of those things are what makes MOBAs great. And then it has an action element. So when we started this endeavor, one of the things we noticed as we researched competitive games and MOBAs were that the cinematic trailers of other games offer what we call the heroic fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
They were beautiful and over the top, and they made you emotionally engaged with the story that they were telling you. And then the gameplay that you play once they get you into the game is different. They're great games, but the two things are divergent. And we thought with our pedigree of being Epic Games, making actually Gears of War and Unreal Tournament, we could bring those two things closer together and get that emotional response, not just in the trailer, but actually in the game when you're playing Steel and you dunk an entire team and then you charge them into a tower. It is a different feeling.
Right. From a game design standpoint, Kevin, how do you guys kind of approach, from all the designers, how do you guys kind of approach how you want to do design for Paragon? Is there a general thought for heroes, for example?
Well, so a lot of important parts about the MOBA are really about kind of the meta of the game, and whether it's first person or third person, a meta of the game needs to be sort of consistent. You can see things like, you see when you actually play it, you're playing a third person or a first person guy, right? Basically, right?
Right.
It's a shooter, so it has to feel like you're playing a character.
Right.
But also we have to keep in mind things like, all right, what's the effective range of this hero, versus similar heroes? There's a lot more rules, and there's a lot of challenges there in terms of when my projectile falls off. But there has to be rules to make the meta consistent.
Okay. Next question. Oh, Winkbane, and I'm sorry if we talked about this before when we did our Reddit AMA, the actual one. If I murk your name, I apologize. I'll do my best to say these names. Are the red, blue, black, and prime buff minions the final models, or will we see them changed, updated as the game progresses?
No, we will see them changed and updated
very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to see the Orb Prime Guardian mesh and effects.
Yes.
In art review.
Yeah.
And they are our art team. They're ridiculous. It is spectacular. So as
finally
live game, we are going to be treating it like a beta. We will be bold. We make changes, and things will just continue to get better. Including as we get to new features in Unreal Engine. So as we go through the months, we'll totally make use of them in Paragon and just keep making the game great.
Yeah. Fun fact: if you are currently in,
so we'll see buffs updated.
Red, I think in the black.
Hope so. It will be soon.
See some of the effects coming in. Yeah. So you can tell something is coming.
Something's changing.
Something is coming. So yeah, those are definitely placeholder. We'll have those updated.
And I'll add on something, probably get in trouble for it, but not just the models. We want to give those guys a lot more personality too. So sometimes the gameplay around them will change a little bit in the future. But yeah, just watch out for that.
All right. Next question.
The suspense is killing me.
This name. Dunamispia Dynami.
Good.
That sounded perfect.
Nailed it.
I think
Thank you.
Yeah,
I hope you guys.
Proper dialect too. Really good job.
Any word on implementation of epic cards, or see legendaries and more useful rares?
They are coming. And that's the word. We are evaluating our card system and basically planning for changes that we're going to work on the next month or two, and they're coming.
So there's actually a week-long event starting this week, and I'll add to that. We're introducing epic rares in the 30.2 update, and so as of right now, and for those of you that have been with the community for a while, if this is your first time, this is be the first event that you get to do this. But there are 2 hashtags that if you spend time viewing a stream on Twitch of Paragon that have these hashtags, whichever hashtag wins with the most view time, everyone in the community, I believe that played during the week, will receive the card, the epic rare cards. So the 2 cards are Empyrean Mask and Stab Link.
The competition's going to be fierce for these 2, I feel
yes.
like.
Yes. So
come down to the wire.
Mooney will have more about what the cards do specifically, but wanted to throw that out there. Let's go on to the next question. Oh, Hadrosaur Hero. What do you guys think? That sound right?
Sure.
Hadrosaur Hero.
Yes.
Yeah. The Hadrosaur, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Is there a possibility of a new affinity ever being added, or is that not in the future plans?
Not in the future plans.
Not in the future plans. No, it would take a lot to add a new affinity. Mostly because we try to keep the affinities in terms of number of cards roughly equal, and so one new affinity would be 70, 80,
a lot of cards,
right? Brand new cards,
right?
We'll probably just grow the affinities and just keep evolving the system as we add new gameplay features.
So I had a question on this because I don't think it's actually listed in this one's. The process of creating the original affinities.
Yeah.
How long did it kind of take, and what was the process for just kind of getting through that?
Yeah, so it took months because first time we've made a game like this, and we're going to have some missteps. So we started working on the card system way back in August, and it went well. We came up with some interesting ideas, but we didn't have a good foundation, so we kind of moved that aside and then started with new foundation again. And the affinities are there to provide personalities for the characters. They red is fury, and it's about passion and speed and like impulsive decision making and that sort of thing. Corruption is about being dark and
basically making it so you have an unfair advantage in a situation. Yeah.
Kevin doesn't play corruption characters, so he doesn't like corruption cards.
Okay.
And so each of the heroes has a personality, and their personality is kind of grafted on top of affinities, which adds even more flavor. And we have lore coming that we'll talk about affinities and how they work in.
We released some lore tidbits. I think there's a couple lore questions in here.
I'm sure there are.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, should be good.
Granny Grux.
Granny Grux. Hashtag Granny Grux. Next question. This is from Mud, who's actually here at the event. She said, are you guys going to continue with teleporting idea or do something completely different? Now, we actually released an update. Was that last week or the week before? Giving a more of a clear picture of where we're at with travel mode, kind of talking about that. If you're new, you'll get to play with travel mode, but it's going away. Steve, I'll let you kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so the fun and hard part about working on a live game and full view the audience is we'd like to be open and transparent and tell people the things we are intending to try. And sometimes those things don't work out. So we tried teleport inside Agora with removing travel mode, and it was really rough. Like game times were really long.
Yep.
It's less engaging to move around the environment, that sort of stuff. And so we had to take a step back and reevaluate. And we have a future plan that we're working on, and we'll be talking about when we're more sure that that's the direction that we can go. It just didn't work out the way we wanted. So we're going to keep teleport. We're probably going to move towards keep travel mode for now, and then keep teleport on Portal Stone, which is the card that you can use to teleport. And we're evaluating reducing the price and allowing people to teleport to friendly structures and stuff like that. So, I mean, as an example, one of the challenges we ran into with teleporting was we wanted people to be able to use it to move around the map. But because it was linked to structures, as the match went on, structures would be destroyed. And so you had less opportunity to teleport, which, when you're trying to end a match, you need more opportunity to move around the map. So we just have to work through issues like that.
Okay.
Live development.
Yeah. We'll go through lots of iterations. Next question. Mexican 524 5243 Sparrow asks,
Clearly a Twin Blast player.
Will rooting come back to travel mode? Sparrow's piercing shot was useful as you could root running targets. Now it's more of a mental slap. Right now it seems like it's easier to run around. So, what are your thoughts on rooting?
So we removed rooting because we found that basically only brand new players were being rooted.
Right.
So they were being punished by it, and it was hard to understand why they were being rooted. And the more experienced players almost never got rooted.
Yeah.
And it was just it's a rough experience. And when we have running a live game, when we have large groups of new people come in, like for PS Plus and now for Open Beta, we want to make the game fun for them. Right. It shouldn't be fun just when you're 100 hours in and you know that if you tap left mouse button or right trigger right before
I'll be back.
shot would come out. So we removed it, knowing that it would make the experience better for brand new players, and knowing that we intend to fully remove travel mode.
Right.
So we're not going to iterate on the current travel mode because we'd rather dedicate those resources to the future things that we're sure are a better solution.
Okay. Let's see who we have next. Spinner12 asks, will a hero that needs a lot of mechanical skill come soon? And how much time do we need to wait for one of them? Also, will Steel get a rework on his shield? That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
That is a loaded question. Let's unpack that one, yeah.
Kevin, how do you kind of feel about the mechanical skills of heroes? I think if you talk to us internally, there's things like Richter.
Yeah.
We consider Richter to be very mechanically skilled player or hero. How do you kind of feel about the cadence of how we kind of look at heroes and evaluate kits?
So the longer we develop the game and the farther along we get with our technology and kind of our goals, there's going to be heroes that require more knowledge of the game that kind of evolve out of how people are playing the game.
Right.
So I would fully expect that there'll be higher skill characters. I think is what people are talking about. But I also people should keep in mind that there's lots of different kinds of skill. There's mechanical skill in terms of just landing all your hooks and making sure you last really well, and then there's how you move around the map. There's lots of stuff to consider here. So we'll try and make room for all those heroes. I mean, I think players should expect that from us for sure.
And how much time do we need to wait? I mean, every 3 weeks we release
every 3 weeks.
Hashtag every 3 weeks.
Hashtag every 3 weeks.
Free heroes.
Yep. You can expect a new hero, for those of you new, every 3 weeks. And every 3 weeks, the meta kind of shifts and sways because
shifts is a light way of saying it.
Yeah, ebb and flow.
Yeah.
But every 3 weeks we release a new hero, so you can kind of, we have the next hero coming out on Tuesday of next week.
Yep.
And it's one of those things where every time we release one, you kind of hear people say, okay, well, I can do this, and this.
Right.
And then team comps kind of shift, and so I think over time people will be very impressed with what's coming.
I hope so.
I hope.
Yeah.
And then we'll still get a rework on his shield. I'm assuming he's talking about the shield block.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. His shield has 2 shields, just for clarification. So I'm assuming he's talking about the shield block. Have we talked about that anymore?
We've talked about it. It's been improved vastly from some of our early online tests.
Right.
That's
something we'll continue to evaluate as we go.
Yeah,
looking at heroes and things like that.
The hard part about abilities like the RMB or bumper shield is it requires teamwork.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a if you're playing Steel as a brawler, you might not use it that much. If you're playing him as a support and a crowd controller,
your body blocking.
Your body blocking.
Yeah.
You can use it to tank some shots for your ranger who's behind you.
Yep.
You can use it to make space for Gideon so he doesn't get stunned out of his ult. Like there's a bunch of ways to make use of it.
It's an excellent bait tool.
Yeah,
sitting there in front of somebody with low health and trying to get him to kill you while your team comes along works every time.
Yeah, it's a great delay tactic.
It's a very good delay tactic.
I hear some shots.
It's just in terms of abilities, it's not as sexy as his dunk or his charge, but it's very useful. And so if you watch really high skill players like guys in Nagor's Rising, they put great use to it.
Okay. Next question. This is from Mexican 524 Sparrow again. He said, any more teases on tier 3 to 4 skins? I know it's very unlikely as legal issues, but what is Nathan Drake's skin, Uncharted fan there, is possible for Twin Blast? Well, I can tell you that's probably not likely.
Probably not likely.
But any more teases on Tier 3 and 4 skins? I don't know if what are teases?
Yeah,
It might just release them. I don't know if we tease
yeah.
them too
I mean,
much.
we will, as we get closer to having Tier 3 and Tier 4 skins, we will always tease them, but they'll be visual. Like it's
Right.
not going to be interesting
Yeah.
for us to talk about.
Talk about them. Yeah. I mean, there's cool stuff coming. I would say,
Yeah.
you know, with the community members that are out, they've seen some of the upcoming skins we're working on,
Yep.
and
There were a couple oohs and ahs.
there was a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I think the team needs to feel comfortable with showing the assets at a much larger scale before we actually do something like an official tease. But yeah, they're coming. We're working on them for sure. Next question. Cautious asks, when will a competitive playlist be added? Also, will the ELO rating or be similar to that on Agora GG? Now, Agora GG is a community organized site. They're using our API. We have, and I didn't mention this, we have API developers out. Kyle, who actually does Agora GG, is actually here at the event. You guys will get to see him play. So, and Jamie Shepard, he also does Reddit, Discord, and he's at the event as well. He does Paragon GG, also API developer. So I'm just kind of rabbit holing on the API thing. You know, we really care about those things and seeing those guys flourish and be able to do the things that they want to do to be successful within the Paragon community.
Yeah.
In terms of,
I mean, early on we realized as we were having a conversation about making this game, it was do we want to do everything ourselves? And there are way more community members who are passionate and will come up with better ideas than we will if we just give them the tools.
Yeah.
And so we've driven towards doing that for Community API, for the replay system, when people have great plays. Some of the videos that come out of Epic are really high quality, but the videos that come out of the community, there are so many that are equal quality, and people are just passionate. And so they put music tracks to them. One of my favorite is slow motion Paragon fights. And they just like one of the fight where Gideon drops the meteor on somebody, and they zoom up into the
and you see the
universe, through the portal. It's fantastic, and so we're going to continue to drive towards crowdsourcing because we believe our community is they're just better than what we can do.
Okay. And in terms of the actual question, when will a competitive playlist be added?
You want to actually answer the question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, kind of talking about the community. So competitive playlist, I think we have a lot of ideas about what we like to do.
Yep.
There's a couple things that we've discussed in the past, like number of heroes, right? Before we start considering what the term competitive or even ranked for that matter.
Yep.
And kind of decreasing the ability or completely eliminating the ability to have mirror matches, very important as part of the heroes.
Right.
And then in terms of playlist, one of the things that I think we're really focused on is not introducing too many playlists too soon.
Right.
Because we don't want to fragment our audience to only focus on one playlist or the other playlist. So there's a lot of consideration that we have going, but I can tell you guys that we have a lot of ideas, and maybe making some headway on a couple.
Yep.
So
do you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure. One of the ones that we're thinking about is an idea around specific nights. So we codenamed this. It was me, Colin Fogels, and Steve, and a couple other people. But right now, codename is Hot Nights.
Hot Nights.
Hot Nights is the codename for this playlist. But the idea behind it is essentially on, let's say, a Wednesday, from a set time to a set time, you come into the playlist and you can earn up to, I think it's 2 rewards or two points for completing matches. So completing a match gets you 1 point, winning a match gets you 2 points, and throughout each week you accumulate those points, and then at the end of the season or league, you would get in-game rewards.
Right.
And throughout that time, you can spend some of those points on in-game items. So I won week 1. Oh man, there's this cool thing I want to get. You can purchase that. So that's what we're kind of thinking about. The playlist, again, would only be for one night for a specific time period. You could only play 2 matches max, and then it would disappear so that we don't kill off the other playlists. So that's something that we're thinking about. There you go.
Yep. devil's always in the details. So just like teleport, things may
change.
things may
but
change.
Those are ideas.
But a lot of those ideas are inspired by what we read on Reddit and what we
Yes.
read in the forums and what people tweet to us. So if you guys have feedback about that idea or what you'd like to see in ranked play, when we get enough heroes to actually support ranked play, we are actively engaging in conversations about them now and compiling our ideas and figuring out the path forward.
Playlist reading. Next question. NASCOR asks, can we expect to be able to support Paragon esports with stuff like skins, special packs, digital tickets, esports season passes, etc.? You want me to tackle this one? You want to?
I'll tackle this one. So we are still focused on making a highly competitive game, right? I mean, we've said from the beginning that our job is to make Paragon the best MOBA that it can possibly be, and the community will let us know when they think we are ready for esports. And so as we continue to make the game better and better month over month, and it's so, like, at dinner last night we were talking about like how different Paragon is from 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
Yep.
And so 6 months from now it'll be a different game.
Yep.
What we're looking for is community events like Agora's Rising, the Gameaholics Paragon Beatdown in Germany. We have multiple Russian tournaments happening now, and so as the community continues to do these things, we will start to gear up and do our best to support them.
Right.
As far as like custom content for that remains to be seen. Like, we have our work cut out for us to get to that competitive spot.
When we get there.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We'll see if we get there. We're hoping the community really embraces of the game, and they want to see that sort of blossoming, emerging competitive spirit of esports. There's a lot of thought going into that. I think one of the first things you mentioned is supporting community organized tournaments and competitions. The other factor for us, at least, is trying to figure out where we fit in terms of like rules,
right?
How we kind of approach those things. So, one of the things that we initially want to propose, and we'll see how some of the tournament organizers feel about this, is universal rule setting. So, that's as far as we've kind of gone right now, and we have more plans depending on what happens. But that's kind of the first step, community organized stuff. Let's go to the next question. Can you tell us anything about a new character?
He's coming.
Hoff TV. He is coming.
Is coming.
Sorry, too much information.
Yeah, there you go.
He's banging.
Oh, God.
He's a banging. So, next question. Pikaday is back again. Are you looking to make a trailer such as the reveal trailer for actual release? Hey, what did we open up with?
Yep.
Hey. So we opened up with the open beta trailer. Fantastic job from the video production team, the capture team, art team, for everybody for coming, everyone coming together to make that trailer possible. And that was just for you guys. We'll show it some more.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll show up again during the day.
Yep. But in terms of official release, I mean, we're not even that far out yet. We got to get the data. But there will be more fantastic.
We're still standing.
Whimsical.
We're all still alive.
Trailers being released.
So will that be the new hero? What?
The Russian community asks, do you have plans for new maps other than Agora?
We would love to do new maps. So one of the biggest challenges is matchmaking times. People hate long matchmaking times, and certainly when we were online tests and our population was super small, that was one of the constant criticisms of the community. Like, matchmaking times are long. And so what we're very conscious of is, again, not fragmenting the community with multiple playlists. The nice thing about content like Heroes is if a new hero comes out and you like that hero, we can still play together. If new content comes out and you prefer one map over another, and that's what always happens in every competitive game is that has multiple maps, is the community will highlight, the one map that is the most competitive, and then the other ones, that one takes 80%, and the other, however, N, right, take the other 20% kind of divide amongst, and the more there are, the less they get played. And so as we build our community going into open beta, we will have more space to offer things like the competitive playlist that you talked about, where not everybody is in the same matchmaking queue all the time.
Right. Kevin, for you, just kind of go on this question a little bit more. What was like the process of us creating Agora?
It changed a lot, obviously. There's got to be room for art. There's room for. I mean, I don't even want to know. The first time I played the game was completely different. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Yeah. The process for the map is we really have to get behind it, and it has to be developed kind of in synchronization with the meta, or else you can run into a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Some of those problems the
Oh.
community is well aware of. We're dealing with trial mode things right now still.
Ci
Just
to come
they
Paragon.
need to be developed at the same time. You know, that's what we're going to continue to try and do.
Next question. Wizard
Wizard Park.
asks, how is MMR calculated? I don't think we can go into the specifics of that, but what percent of
Ами
matches
може да, ма
back
тя още на работа
have
ще ми за...
data? There was actually a blog.
Yeah, there's
that
a
Шест.
I was gonna say, yeah, didn't we just do one of these?
and I don't know if it goes into
Това колко е?
granular specifics of how MMR is calculated, but she's released 3 blogs that are on our
Еми
website.
ходете, не ще дойда после.
Where, the exact information is very detailed. in the blogs.
Right.
So the
And
percent of
we are
matches-
open about it. And
Yeah, we are.
Еми...
matchmaking blogs as our progress has kind of moved through
Yeah.
the early access phase.
We have the actual percentage of matches.
Еми...
We showed that in.
Ма сега ли трябва да ходим?
She did, and that was
I'm
around the
not
time
remembering.
of Team Builder, which
Right.
it was like 45, 55
И
split.
как са ти един, нали каза, че...
And then
В
we
6.
have the data. Yes, it's over on.
Еми хубаво, добре.
And you guys can search. I want to say it's in announcements on the section. If you go to news, and you'll see Catherine Varner, aka El Ray.
Yep.
She streams quite a bit. She will answer all the MMR questions that she possibly can when she's streaming and on. Hit her up.
Yep. Next question.
Next question. Oh, we got Sparrow back
There we go.
again.
Yeah.
Are the remaining heroes out of the 39 planned going to be released in a specific order that has already been determined, or do you guys release heroes randomly based on whenever they are finished? So I'm going to let you answer this real quick. I want to add that there was a point in time when we were just releasing where we needed to assets needed to be kind of prioritized, and then I think as we get a rhythm and cadence, it'll get much better.
Much better,
But
yeah.
I'll let you answer that in depth.
Yeah. So the process of releasing a hero is pretty long. You know, our heroes are high fidelity, and so Art has a long pipeline that kind of leads out until the hero is fully polished and released. And so we have a schedule that takes us well out into December of next year.
Right.
The heroes are planned at least on paper, and up through certainly the end of this year, where heroes are being prototyped and actively worked on and played with. The pipeline that we have, because we are learning how to make this type of game, we are learning a lot of lessons. And so early on, the pipeline is pretty compressed, and we are hitting heroes basically exactly when we need to. And community members were saying one of the things they love is the pace of change. And so lots of times a hero will come out and we think he plays a particular way, like Chimera, and we didn't anticipate some of the things that happen in the wild with community members trying all sorts of different things.
Right.
And he gets fixed really quickly, and now it is a favorite hero of Thomas, who I was talking to last night. So that's the pipeline, and the hardest part is we are really aggressive in our hero cadence, because we know to be the most competitive game that we can be, we need a diverse hero roster, and so we put Kevin under the gun quite a bit to get balance right and make changes. But it doesn't account for just life things. You know, lots of times heroes get switched around. I'd prefer if it was a well-oiled machine, but we are at max capacity, and so when people get sick or they do selfish things like have babies, things like that, it's the things get moved around, and we have to adjust. But we are committed to hero every 3 weeks, all playable for free, and we're now 7 heroes in, 20 weeks.
In.
Yep.
8 is next week.
Yep. And we've stuck the landing each time. So
yeah. Yep.
We're just gonna keep doing that. Just keep doing that.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Next question. Hold that door. He asks, will we see more hero diversity in terms of abilities in the future? I'm gonna answer that question first.
Yeah.
And then, will current heroes have a reworks and have passives reintroduced into the current and future heroes. Again, that's quite a bit there to digest. Kevin, first off, hero diversity.
Yeah, it's really important. A lot of these other games, when they're developing new heroes, they fill out their matrix, right? And they're kind of just like really experimenting with new things. And a lot of that is because they've had a lot of time to develop the game. They see how players are using heroes. They know how their tech works really well.
Yep.
And as we kind of like see people see the game really take shape, Paragon, I mean, we can expect to see more consistency in terms of like, all right, this is a mechanic that it's new, but it also fits really well with the game.
Right.
Rather than just introducing really complicated mechanics before they have a place in the game, we'll kind of see what's missing and what works really well and what plays really well. So the longer we develop the game, the more heroes we release, the more diverse a hero is going to get for sure.
Right. And to kind of go on your point about tech and abilities that we introduced, Richter was the first hero that had a silence, right? And so I remember Cameron was kind of talking about this. It's like, hey, we put silence in the game, and now we know how it works and functions. And so, if we release another hero that happens to have silence or some other ability like that, then it's like, okay, well, that was the first hero that we used to establish.
You learn a lot from that, and then you get to exactly
right. So it's very iterative in that. Once you use a hero that does something for the first time, it's like we're learning just as much as the community. Just kind of okay.
A lot of times we'll get these new mechanics that actually don't work really well in Paragon compared to like a top-down game or something like that, right? So it's important to kind of keep that tight and kind of grow it as you go into the game better.
And then will current heroes have kit reworks and have passives pass over
passives reintroduced to current and future heroes.
Current and future heroes. So kit reworks are that's ongoing.
Yeah. We are doing every 3 weeks, so I think eventually we'll get to the point where we can kind of revisit these other heroes as well. But until every 3 weeks ends, never. From what I'm told. So
not never, just in 3 weeks.
I think we've done 3 hero, not necessarily retool their kits, but we've done some major rebalances. Grux, Fang Mao, Kalari had a big kit rework. Rampage had a kit rework. So
I mean, just the last update, Gideon's Meteor now became spike damage instead of damage over
it's
time.
definitely something that we look at data, we look at how players are playing, we look at feedback, and the design team kind of puts their heads together.
Well, one of the challenges is because our hero roster is pretty limited, people are they're seeing holes.
Right.
And they're going, there's a hole here. How come? Like, let's take this character and move him over there to fill that hole.
Right.
Exactly.
And our pipeline will fill that hole. Like a hero every 3 weeks is again aggressive. So those holes will start to get filled. And if you play the shell game of moving heroes around, it's destabilizing to the meta.
Hole.
Yeah, you move the hole to a different spot,
right.
And you confuse players. And so what we'd like is a well-defined role and strengths for a particular hero and well-defined weaknesses. And then use our hero roster that's coming up as we release new heroes to fill those spots.
And then passives being reintroduced. I don't think they're coming back.
Yeah, well, so
not in the way that
not in the way of like every hero must have one and they must be consequential. Let's be realistic here. But no, we do have passives in the game, right? They're on abilities when we think they fit well, right? We're just not going to force ourselves to put on passives or tack them on or whatever, right? So you can still expect things like that.
Okay. Next question. The computer mates steel.
I don't even know.
Man. The computer mates steel asks, will there be any special rewards for players that played the pre-released closed beta?
So early
access.
Yes. So we have some fun features coming up.
Yeah, we'll talk about those later
today. And our plan is to reward people who have been with us early with these new features, and they have the head start.
Yeah.
And so we value the lessons that they helped us learn.
Yeah.
There's a couple more things. I mean, we did like some of the rewards that we've given out. I want to say like the Sparrow versus Murdoch, right? The Monarch Murdoch. Like those might come back, but we released those and they're still in the bank. If we could use them again.
Fuck. Freaking dogs.
Masters only got the Hot Rod Howitzer.
Challenger and Master.
Challenger and
packs.
Master. So
Hot
you
Rod
know, there's
Howitzer.
a couple exclusive skins that kind of happen, and we'll continue to add a couple more things here and there, but it will stop eventually.
Yes.
So next question. L biggest gadget. Okay, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Can we have card points counter on the deck manager, basically deck builder? This question comes up quite a bit.
It does. Yeah.
If Shimbari was here, he'd tell you he wants it very badly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have any more insight on that.
I don't. It's just and the UI team has their own schedule and it's in the priority stack. I just don't know where. There's the hard part, and people always ask me, especially as we got closer to open beta, like, how happy are you with the game? It's like, I'm a designer. I'm never happy. It's not a fair question.
There's no win.
Yeah. So we want to improve basically everything in the game. We have ideas to improve, and now it's just the priority stack
priority
game.
time, all that stuff. To kind of add to that, we've changed deck builder two times.
Yeah.
2 times so far. So as the team finds out more data, whether it be UX or otherwise from community, they'll continue to iterate and try to improve upon it the best they can.
Yeah, we just can't do all the things all at the same time all the time.
Or we can try and then not do some things very poorly.
Right.
So that's the sacrifice. Now, next question. Real Trendy is very frequent on Reddit. I see you, Trendy. Shout out to Trendy for submitting a question. Are there goals to be, are there going to be any more community events like the one that was done in Berlin and North Carolina previously? I'd love to be able to go to something like those someday. Pipe dream. Not a pipe dream. I'm going to tell you that right now because we're doing an event right now. Trendy, you're not here. Don't act like I don't want to act like I don't notice that you're very frequent over there, post a lot of great stuff. We have limited capacity that we can do at Epic. I think as we continue to release more games, as we continue to grow each game's communities, you'll see perhaps larger scale events in the future. But we will do the best of our ability to continue to hold community events that people can participate in, like going to PAX and having a presence there, or going to some of the other shows out there, E3s or wherever, DreamHacks, things like that. So there would be an opportunity to meet and greet and talk to the Epic devs and the Epic team and other other Paragon community members. But we can't give you any specific details on when the next one is. We're kind of planning those out as of right now.
So one of my favorite things about the community is it's self-sustained. It's just that virtuous cycle and so Kia was saying on Reddit was saying, hey, I'm going to be at Gamescom. Who wants to meet up? Right. And so people have already self-organized. We have Russian community and they've shown us like communities in Russia have gotten together to play Paragon together, and they send screenshots and put it on VK, and it's.
And the next community event that we'll be at PAX. So I'll answer that question. We'll be at PAX, and we will also be at Igramir in Russia. And there's a very special treat there. So I'm gonna not spoil it for anybody, but Russia should.
Well, guys, I have to go out.
Riddler
sad, but yeah.
Are there any chances that some
have to
players
do
are being
stuff?
falsified
So
bans?
gonna see you later, or probably tomorrow. Thank you for watching, guys. See ya.